Hi there, this is Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. When I made my first video almost 3 months ago, I said I would take you along on my prepping journey. And after almost 3 months, I thought I should update you on where I am in prepping and where I need to go. And most importantly, you need to see where you are in your journey and what you need to do to get ready for everything that's coming our way. And again, you need to prep for 3 weeks, then 3 months, then a year, and then 3 years of food storage. So let's talk a little bit about food and where I am in my food pantry. And then I want you to look at yours and see where you are. So survey your pantry, or if you've been keeping track of everything in a journal, look at your journal just to make sure you're on the right track. Now, we are pretty much storing what we're eating, but the thing is we eat a lot of fresh meat and fresh veggies, and we can't store that. I know we can freeze meat, but with the grid down, the meat's not going to last very long. And we would run out of gas for the generator in order to power the freezer. And with the supply shortages, fresh veggies are going to be hard to get. They're shipped from other parts of the country and other countries also. So every time I went to the grocery store for the last 3 months, I picked up extra cans of food, extra rice, extra beans, oatmeal, cans of veggies, cans of meat. And just as a note for those of you who are still saying it's going to be impossible to prep, 3 months is about 12 weeks. And if you only picked up 1 can a week, you're going to have 12 cans. Now, I know that's not enough, but it's a good start. Now, think if you picked up 2 cans a week, you're going to have 24 cans in 3 months. But with the sales, you can do even better than that. Now, what I'm going to do is go through my pantry, and I'm looking for a complete a meal as possible. I want to have protein, veggies, and carbs. So when I look and I see I have 1 can of 20-ounce Dinty Moore beef stew, it says there's 2.5 servings in the can. So let's just base this on a hypothetical 3-people family, mother, father, and child. So 2.5 servings, we'll assume that's enough for the 3 people. And then if I look at a 14-ounce can of, say, Del Monte green beans, they say it's 3.5 servings. So there I have my can of stew and my green beans. That's going to be enough for 3 people for 1 meal. And then I'm going to add to it some rice, because rice will extend everything. And we need to get maybe a few more carbs. So 1 cup of dry rice gives you 3 cups of cooked rice. So that is going to be plenty of rice to go with the meal. Now we're going to need something, say, for breakfast. And a half a cup of oatmeal equals about 1 cup of cooked oatmeal. 1.5 cups of dry oatmeal serves 3 people. So for every 1.5 cups, we're going to get 3 people. So I'm going to look on my oatmeal and see how many cups there are in it and how many servings I'm going to get. My 18-ounce container of oatmeal is going to give me enough for 4 servings for 3 people. Now, let's say you don't have the Dinty Moore beef stew, but you have tuna. Well, you would combine tuna and noodles to make a meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count my protein sources, the number of cans of tuna, beef stew, chili, canned chicken, canned beef, all the different things that have the meat in it, or the protein, the number of cans of veggies, and then the amount of rice and oatmeal. And then that'll give me a rough estimate of how many meals I might have. So if I had 10 cans of meat, and only 6 cans of veggies, I know then I better go and get some more veggies to match the meat. And again, I'm going to look at the rice and the oatmeal and get an estimate of how many meals I have with that. That'll give me a very rough estimate of how many meals I have, how many more I might need to make up the 3 months of storage. So as I'm looking at my pantry, I'm going to look at the grains of cereal, the vegetables, the canned meat, the pasta, the nuts and the seeds, the oil. And I know I'm going to get tired of oatmeal, so I'm going to probably find some dried eggs, dehydrated eggs to use. And did you know popcorn, you can grind it into a flour and use it as cornmeal? Plus, it makes a nice comfort food and it stores forever. So I might just get a few bags of popcorn to have. Of course, then I have to get a grinder, but that's doable. Make sure as you're going through your pantry, let's say you have flour and sugar and you're going to make some kind of a bread, but you don't have any baking powder. So you have to make a list of what you're going to need to make your bread. Cornmeal, baking powder, sugar, what exactly you're going to need so that you can see if you have enough of the ingredients. Don't forget spices. When you go through the pantry, look and see what spices you have. You're going to need the pepper and the salt and the herbs. You might want to get a few goodies. You might want to get some canned pudding, some canned fruit. And the next thing you want to do is buy on sale. So that's pretty much where I am, what I'm doing with my food right now, checking it out, seeing what I need to add to it, seeing how much I have. The next thing I want to look at is water. Now, I have 2 rain barrels that I bought on Craigslist, but they're not hooked up yet. It should be fairly easy to hook them up when the time comes. And then I need to get a filter, and I'm going to use a Berkey filter, saving up to buy a Berkey filter. And that will be some water that I'll have. I also know where I can go out to get water and how I'm going to get it back home, how I'm going to use a cart to bring it back home, how I have some jugs to put the water in to bring it home. Now, the other thing I really need to look at is a garden. And I just bought a raised bed and set it up, and I have a video on that. And I'm going to fill it up over the winter because it's one of those 32-inch high ones, which comes up to my waist. I'm going to put in the logs in the bottom and twigs and tree limbs, and then add the soil on top of that. This will be all ready when spring comes. Now, I haven't been sprouting or growing microgreens because I can get all the vegetables I need right now at the grocery store. But sprouting and microgreens are going to be very important when everything collapses and we can't get to the store or there's nothing in the stores. So I've got seeds to plant outside next spring, and I've got seeds for the sprouts and the microgreens. So I'm pretty well set there. So I just want to mention that you should regularly use your food storage and replenish it. And what you want to do basically is when you use up a can, put it on your grocery list immediately so you don't forget about it. You want to check all the time to make sure you are attaining your goals, and you want to make sure that you rotate and you take the oldest item first. So that's where I am with food and water, a little bit on gardening there. But I still need to do security. I really haven't done anything substantial in that area. I will be making a video on it as I come up with some ideas. I want to talk about medical and vitamins in another video because they're very important. What kind of medical supplies I have, what kind of vitamins I have, herbs, things like that. And the big thing for me still is sanitation. What am I going to do when the grid goes down and my well isn't working anymore? How am I going to get rid of the poop? So that's where we are right now. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and I'd really like to hear from you what you're doing with your prepping, how it's coming along. Do you feel like you're making progress? Do you feel like you haven't made any progress? Are you stuck? Are you feeling good about prepping? So please subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.